Right now, you never know because Putin is still threatening my country. And the moment there will be the need for all the young guys to take the guns, we will, of course, take them and to protect our country. So it's going crazy, sometimes. But they want to break us, but they will not. Of course, we do have some sense of morality here because in March we were saved. Our army pushed the Russians back from Irpin, Bucha, and all the Kiev Oblast. And today you can really see people going up in the streets, cheering, drinking beers in the pubs. There is still the curfew, of course. But right now, Kyiv, it's like the center for all of the people who want to get some kind of normality, who want to continue their business. And it's really important that Kyiv stays like this because, of course, it's financial capital, it's the economical capital, and we do need it to stay the same. But, there is the sense in the air every day that every day can be your last day. And that's why people, they try just to go out, just to hang out, to have some kind of life because you never know what will be tomorrow.
Do you worry about what the future holds?
The thing is that, as one analyst said, psychiatrist, that the first who died were the people who thought that this will end fast. The second who died were the people who thought that this will never end. And this only survived the people who were working every day and not thinking about the future. And this is probably what I'm talking to most of my friends and to colleagues. We do feel the same. We don't know what the future is. We just live this day, this life day by day.
Now, you are 22, but you're a Ukrainian youth delegate to the UN. Just explain a little bit about that role to us, if you would.
So my role is, of course, to perform at the United Nations General Assembly to represent the interests of the Ukrainian youth. And soon I will probably be joining our permanent mission to the United Nations in the New York City to, of course, advocate for Ukraine at the youth level. And it's really important that in Ukraine, we also have at our Ministry of Foreign Affairs, a youth council, which is, the youth politics in Ukraine is playing right now a big role because we do know that, of course, the youth will be mostly connected to the rebuilding of the country. And of course, we do understand that the war brings a lot of demography problems. And raising such an issues, for instance, by talking to you and by talking to high officials, to talking to my colleagues from other countries, it's really important, even at the age of 22.
People will know that Russia, of course, is one of the 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council. And people will also think, why would you want to be associated with an organisation that many people say doesn't have teeth, doesn't stand up to Russia, doesn't force action? What would you say to that?
Of course, we are losing faith to many international organizations today here in Ukraine. OSCE, Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, we just sometimes don't see the real results of their work, and we sometimes do see that they do not cover everything needed. But it's still the place where you can promote your interests. It's still the place where you can talk to the people, where you can try to find the support that our country needs. And by saying the word support, I mean, of course, weapons, of course, humanitarian help, really any help that any country can provide, even if we are speaking about small countries from Asia or Africa. So this is still one of the biggest places where negotiations happen, and it's important to be there, to talk there, and to represent my country.
Do you worry that as time goes on, support from the international community will disappear? I mean, you're probably aware that here in the UK, the last few days, all of the news has been focused on the high energy bills that people are going to have to pay here. People are really, really worried about that. And a lot of that is a direct link to the situation in Ukraine. Do you worry that governments will say, actually, we need to protect our own economies, we need to protect our own people, and that means that we can't give the support to Ukraine that we have done so far?
I don't think that it will really disappear. Of course, it will go down and there will be less support. And it's already, not all the countries are helping as they were helping in the first days. And of course, we do understand in Ukraine that we can only win this war with our own hands. It's just that we are asking you that, guys, you have some weapons we need, which are staying in the storages, which are probably not in the use. You have the means to still protect your countries. So give us something so that we finish this war, and also to make you safe. Because Putin is threatening the whole world by attacking the nuclear plants, by killing thousands of people, by sending the rockets which cannot be taken by the anti-air strike systems. So think that there is really sometimes the things which do not require such many money, or it doesn't change the ground for you.
We know that many people have fled Ukraine, women and children, older people, to get to safety. Do you worry that some of those will not come back to help with the future of Ukraine? You talk about the conversations you have with your friends and other young people about building the country back up. Do you worry that some of the skills and the talent may not return?
So you mentioned the data that 14 million people fled Ukraine, but it's also important to remember that 5 million also come back to the country. Of course, some people are already settling up in countries like yours. They're going to the good jobs, good universities. They have found probably a good accommodation, even sometimes love. And we, of course, understand that some of those people will never come back home. But it's really important to make them connected to the country, that they don't forget about us, that they earn the money in your countries and send the money to support us here. And we are at some point even joking, but this is the very big joke. We need at least 10% of the nation to be health. I'm speaking about the mental health, because living in such a conditions for 6 months, even if we're speaking about the Kyiv, which is cheering up and going out in the streets, believe me, everyone is stressed. So I do hope that those people, they live their normal life, they still support us, that they still send the money we need. And then one time, maybe even in 10 years after a victory, they come back home or send their children back home.
And finally, what impact has the last 6 months had on you, on your mental health? I mean, to think of your life a year ago, it must be very different to the one you lead now.
First of all, I don't consider myself a 22-year guy anymore, maybe 32, maybe 42. You never know. And you never know what is coming for you. The feeling that you can't plan your life even like for a week or a month. Of course, when you're 22 and you're thinking, before the 24th of February, I was thinking about big career, finishing university, finding a wife, building a good family. Right now, you never know, because Putin is still threatening my country. And the moment there will be the need for all the young guys to take the guns, we will, of course, take them and to protect our country. So it's going crazy, sometimes. But they want to break us, but they will not.